So what the heck do you do when Crazy World Events come walking right up to your doorstep and chop a major part of your business and your income and your creative outlets off? We're going to talk about it. Let's go. Howdy do, everybody. Welcome back to my studio. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Jillian. I'm an artist. I make mixed media art. I make paintings. I do digital collage. I do all the things, and I've been on a mission to create a tarot deck this year, so I'm making all new art images for that. And I have another part of my business that was really successful, and it got chopped. So let's talk about it. The Kimono Empire. So if you found me through YouTube, you might not know, but if you followed me on Instagram for a few years, you do know kimonos was like my thing. I've been like the kimono lady for a couple years now. I found a way to get my custom designs printed and sewn into beautiful satin kimonos, and they're just the coolest thing. The price point is good for me so that I can afford to produce a bunch of different designs and just see what people like best and get kind of intel on just what people like and what performs best that way, because I'm throwing so many designs out there. It's really, really cool, and I've loved doing this. I spent several years like honing what are the designs I'm going to release, how like my design elements kind of work with the design template that they had on their website, getting all of these designs created, photographed, like getting listings made. All of this, it was a huge amount of work, and it was really successful for a couple years. And it's been one of my main like sources of income for my business. But recently a thing happened on the world stage. Here, I'm just going to play this video that I put on Instagram. I really don't want to deliver this message. If you have one of my kimonos, I hope that you wear it with great pride and joy and cherish it for the rest of your freaking life, because there can be no more kimonos. Now, this is not my decision. I would have kept producing and designing these and selling them for the rest of my damn life if I could help it, but it's not up to me. This morning I got an email from the company that prints and sews these things that said basically they have been forced to shut down operations and permanently close forever. You can take a wild guess as to the cause of that. Trade wars. So rest assured that there will be kimonos again someday, but I'm not sure in what fabric or what format or how much they're going to cost, but I'm going to figure it out. So don't worry. This is going to force me to go bigger and better, and I'm going to use it as a creative motivation, but I'm devastated. I read this email when I first woke up this morning, and my first thought was like, oh no, no more kimonos. But then my second thought was like, oh my god, these poor people. They you can tell by the tone of the email that this is their bread and butter. They have invested everything into this. It's like Printify almost, but it's not. It's from another country, alright? Take a wild guess, but they have so many more interesting, cooler products. All their jobs are freaking gone. Thanks, Donald. But then, of course, the sinking realization was, that's a huge source of income for me, and now I can't have that. That's bad. That's bad for me now. And then it was like, okay, well, I can pivot. I can figure something else out. But it's going to take me another probably 2 years to figure out. This happened, and it's happening because politics. Anyway, they basically gave everyone 48 hours to place new orders. I ordered a bunch of new things. I had only made a couple of new designs. So anyway, I ordered a couple of the new designs and a couple of the most popular old ones. So I'm going to do a sample sale of the last of the kimonos in like a month. And you know what? They are going to come back bigger and better. They're going to come back with embellishments. They're going to come back with velvet. They're going to come back better. I guarantee it. It just might take a little while. So stay tuned for that sample sale, because I'm going to need your help. I got that announcement probably about a little over a week ago, and I was just about to drop a new collection. All of this effort of like fine-tuning the designs, making sure that I like this company, I can trust this company, just so much hard work. One of the things that I was relying on was that, of course, this would keep existing, and that, you know, even if I didn't come out with that many new designs this year, which I didn't, I was only going to release like 2 or 3 new designs as opposed to like a whole ass collection like I had in the previous years, that I could still rely on the popularity of those older designs still picking up traction, still making me money, because everybody loves them. Like, everybody freaking loves these things. And yeah, so I was really relying on the fact that I could just push out a couple new designs and then just let it carry me through the year. So thousands of dollars, thousands upon thousands, I'm no longer able to count on with that. And I had some kind of intuition maybe around like last October that I'm not really going to put in a ton of effort into the kimono thing and to designing new kimonos this year. On instinct, I didn't know why, and then I was like, oh, well, it's probably because I'm supposed to be devoting all my time to like making real art for the tarot deck, which, yeah, but then also this happened. So I really had to grieve the loss of this amazing thing, not only because it's a loss of money to me, but it's a loss of like a really cool creative outlet for me. The ability to just create new things at my whim, and the price point being so good for what it was. Like, I was able to kind of follow like these little whims of, oh my god, I have a great idea, let's put it on a kimono. There are other companies out there that make similar things, but they're either not good enough for me and for my customers, or they just don't have the right materials or fabrics, or they're like way too expensive, which would make me have to charge my customers like hundreds of dollars to, you know, buy one of these things. So yeah, first I grieved the loss. Faith in the arts. Then I realized that I needed to pivot, because if I want to continue making money, there's got to be some other way. One of the realizations I had about this was, because that was so popular and such easy income, I had lost confidence in the fact that my art on its own can make money, because it's cool on its own. Yes, people prefer like wearable products and stuff like that, stuff that like functions in their daily life. But my art for 10 years was like the source of my income. Prints, originals, stuff like that. And it still continues to be a huge part of my income, but I needed to remove that block and then continue forward. So, but so there were a couple things going through my head regarding this kimono thing going away, okay? One of them was, do I want to try and find a different solution right now? Do I want to try and force this aspect of my business to continue? Or do I want to just kind of sit back, focus on my actual art part of my business, and see what kind of like other solution emerges? And I kind of landed on, I'm going to see what other type of solution emerges. It could lead me in a direction where I hand sew a bunch of these, which is a much bigger cost and a much bigger time commitment to me. That's a barrier for me. It would be more fun because I could kind of be more creative in terms of like different fabrics that I'm using, maybe do kind of a patchwork thing. I can get my art printed on like just fabric, but yeah, these things are really expensive. And if I went that route, I would have to make these like super bespoke designs and only make like 2 of them and just hope that it's a design people are gonna like. Charge much more money. Like if I broke down the cost per kimono, if I were to use all like printed fabric or like really cool fabrics that I find online and combine all these things that way, it's about $100 to me just for the materials. So if I want to make a profit on this at all, I'm going to have to be selling these things for like $300 or something. And I'm just not sure if my client base can do that. Well, they could if they wanted it, but it's so weird. There's like so much guesswork. Anyway, I decided, look, like I've already been saying, I need to put the new images that you've seen on this channel up on the website available as prints. So yeah, I forced myself to sit down and actually freaking accomplish that. So that's great. It forced me into doing it. The commitment. I have an online shop on my website, enlightenmentbarbie.com. I made this website probably like 10 or more years ago using Wix, and I just keep using the same thing, but I have a different like print provider that does my like art print type images. So because I already had that set up, and you know, you can use whichever one you prefer if you feel like doing this. There's stuff like Printful and Printify, and yeah, as far as I know, these companies may or may not be affected by this whole trade war tariff insanity. They seem to be consistent and the prices are still about the same as they were. So that seems solid. But yeah, through those, you can easily like push your product design to your Wix store or to an Etsy store, or a lot of people use Shopify. But yeah, I've just published those to my store. And so yeah, they're up now, guys. I made these really, really cool tarot poster images, and I made them available as like loose prints, and then I have them as framed prints, which the framed ones are so cool, and I just ordered a couple for myself so I can show them off in person, in real life. I'm so excited for them to get here. They just look so good. I love this like clean design, and it's given me some inspiration too for how I want like my actual tarot deck to look. Yeah, so it was actually super, super productive and exciting for me to get this all done. The other thing though about it, especially because I started doing the framed ones, they're more expensive, and I had to kind of do the math on, is this going to work for my consumer base? Is it going to be priced well enough to where it would be an easy buy? Or how am I making profit? Is this profitable for me in any kind of sense of the imagination? So I priced them all so that I would make a profit. And yeah, it's just tricky. You also kind of have to look at like the shipping costs. The other thing about that is kind of, I have to get more comfortable with asking just higher prices for my stuff. It shouldn't be uncomfortable for me to do. Like, I ask high prices for my originals and like people pay it because it's worth it, because it's freaking awesome. But even for like the print on demand, like posters and framed things like that, some of the prices are a little high, but that's because the price to make the product is freaking high. And so I have to come to terms with, yes, I'm allowed to ask for money. Yes, I'm allowed to ask for a higher price because goods are freaking expensive right now in the world, and that's okay. So people who want it will buy it. Like, that's just how it is. So I also added those products to my Etsy shop, which Etsy's weird now. I have not used Etsy in also probably like 10 years. I used to run this really cool little shop where I like handmade these cool little backpacks and tote bags and things like that, and people freaking loved them. I would make new designs several times per week. And that format of how Etsy worked then, where it was really actually more real life creators, and the algorithm I think was more so like, if you post something new, it shows up in the feed of the stuff. The newer stuff shows up in search terms, so if the more you're posting new things, the more it'll show up in the search terms. But I guess now it's not like that. Apparently now it's more so like weird algorithm based stuff where you have to SEO the crap out of all of your like title and your description, and you have to keep making edits and changes and republishing the listing over and over and over again to appear like you're an active shop, because it like favors active shops that are like producing a lot. I don't know. So I'm trying it out. The products look great on there, and I've already got a sale, so pretty all right. It seems like because Etsy is more of a marketplace, you do have like a greater chance of visibility or whatnot. So I hope it works. We shall see if it does. The Art Club. The other thing I decided to do, finally, was to offer like a Patreon type thing, but it's through my website. And I'm excited about it. For years and years and years, like ever since Patreon has come out, every couple years I'm like, you know what, I should really start a Patreon. And then I'm like, yeah, but how do I do it? I don't know. And I just I was just really kind of wishy-washy about it, and I never did it, but I finally freaking did it. But it's not on Patreon, it's on my website, and I'll tell you why. Because my website, I already have website fees there and whatnot, and they do charge like a small credit card fee if you use that route. But Patreon takes 8 to 12% of your earnings. And so I was like, okay, I'm already trying to do a thing where it's a small fee and people get a product, but I don't want to like be wage garnished that much. So it's on my website. And here's what it is. I'm calling it the Earth Angels Monthly Art Club. Yeah! And what it is basically is that the first tier is like just a donation-based tier. If you donate $5 a month to me, you get a big hug through the ethers and a shout out on the channel. And then at the $8 tier, that's where like the art club thing really kicks in. So $8 a month, you get a 5x7 little mini print of my art in like the tarot card style. There's like little affirmations on the back of the card as to like the meaning of the image, and you get one every month. And I just think that's such a cool thing. I ordered my little sample print of it. I would mail them to my customers with like a little note from me. And yeah, I just feel like it's such a fun idea. It's really simple. I tried to make it as inexpensive as I could. Again, things are expensive in the world, but I think it's really cool. So soon, once I get that in the mail, I'll kind of show that on the YouTube video and talk a little bit more about that. But if you guys feel like supporting the channel in that way, head out to my website and click on the art prints section or any of like the new tarot art sections, and you'll find this cool little subscription that you can sign up for. So yeah, it's a mystery print every month. I'm really excited to offer that.
Wearable artwork.
Okay, so let's talk about the wearable stuff, right? I know my customers love stuff that they can wear, that they can use in their regular lives, and there's a whole bunch of different products you can customize on Printful or Printify that go straight to your store. Hey, look at this. Hey, I'm wearing one. Life is but a lucid dream. Isn't that cool? I designed this shirt, and I think I'm going to be releasing those pretty soon. But because I want to keep my actual website store like pretty clean, streamlined, mostly focusing just on artwork and maybe a few like really cooler, higher end wearable things, I think the t-shirts will be on Etsy, along with maybe like mugs or some other kind of like things that people can use, just little fun kind of merch, more so than like high-end cool stuff like that. But I feel like it could work better over there as more of like an everything shop rather than on my website. So I guess it'll live there. I'm not really sure what I think about it. Yeah, I think the shirt is really cool. I'm going to try and order a few more colors and maybe a couple more different designs. So that kind of like merch drop thing will probably be coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned for that if you feel like supporting me that way.
Help us keep the channel magical by giving it a like and hitting subscribe so we will transmit our magic throughout the universe. Age of uncertainty.
But yeah, just this idea of trying out different streams of income, different types of revenue, it can feel a little bit freaky. You can't really hang your hat on anything in this weird digital age with like weird and wacky world events like coming in and bitches slapping you out of your cash. And you know, it's important to be able to be flexible in this age too, just because yeah, so many things are always in flux and things are subject to change, and you gotta kind of be uncomfortable with the fact that the rug could get pulled out from under you. It's also important to be able to just let yourself breathe when weird changes like that happen. I mean, you know, allow yourself to grieve even. Like I had to really grieve the fact that I'm losing this source of creative freedom. I'm losing this source of income. I'm losing this way to connect with my customers.
People bought these to wear at their weddings, dude.
I had to grieve that, and that was really hard, but it's also important I guess, you know, to find the courage to try these new things and see what works. Even if you're not like super confident that it will, you gotta dream big and you gotta believe that you're gonna attract good shit in your life. And that's what I've been trying to do. You also, I think, have to believe that the people who do really want to support you, I got a lot of ride or dies out there and it's so amazing to me. You gotta believe that those people will stay with you. Yeah, with this too, I really started to realize that I have a lot of subconscious blocks. They're like mental blocks that were sort of stopping me from believing that I could just keep going with purely my art or any other type of product that I could possibly offer and letting that carry me. And I'm kind of stepping back into the recognition that that can and will like hold me and take me somewhere. It's intense. It's really, really intense. But yeah, do you guys have any of those types of blocks right now? Are these weird world events affecting you personally at all? It's crazy to like see these things going on in the outside world and then it becomes like your actual world. It's really insane and I'm navigating it the best I can. You know, I always try to keep a positive attitude even when the rug gets ripped out from underneath me. And I always try to like approach things, with a can-do attitude, and I know I'm freaking dedicated to whatever it is that I decided to do, so I'm letting that dedication sort of propel me into some direction, which also includes this channel, so. And yeah, guys, I think everybody probably who starts a YouTube channel in this day and age wants to eventually get monetized, and I am no exception to that. I would like to get monetized. And I'm not yet, and you have to kind of reach a certain threshold in order to do that. But yeah, having watched this video and seen what I've been up to, if you do want to support me in any way, yeah, go check out my shop. Sign up for the monthly art club. It's such a cool little thing. I'm so excited to start that. And stay tuned for cool t-shirts, dude. Life is but a lucid dream. It just is. Links are all below in the description of this video, and I'll also pin them in a comment, so if you want to just click, check it out. Also, since I've been on the computer and in computer mode like the entire week, I also made a bunch of digital art this week. I made 4 new images for the suit of flowers I'm working on for my tarot deck, and that's going to be in a separate video. And it'll probably drop on the same day, so if you want to go check those out, check them out. And hey, if you didn't see the last video where I created this piece, the chariot, it's so freaking cool. I released it on a random Thursday, so it didn't quite get as much traction as some of the other videos, but it's so cool, and I want you to go look at that video. So it's gonna be, I think, here. Bing. The moral of the story this week, guys, I guess, is weird things can happen. Things are subject to change. You gotta be comfortable with that. We've gotta be okay with that. And the ability to stay positive, grieve what you need to grieve, and continue forth, even if you feel like you're continuing into darkness, is really important. The ability to pivot, to change course, to find different ways is super important. And there are so many different ways to kind of make it in this day and age. So glad that they're available, and as long as they're available, we're all good. So, go in peace, spread joy, and keep being awesome. Remember, like it says on my t-shirt here, life is but a lucid dream, baby. Bye-yow!
Help us keep the channel magical by giving it a like and hitting subscribe so we will transmit our magic throughout the universe.